The Thunder weren't able to close out the defending champion Warriors, and Kevin Durant is at least partly to blame, missing a total of 40 shots in the last two games, including 4 of 19 from 3. So many have speculated KD will leave OKC after this season. Stephen A., how big is tonight's game in terms of determining Kevin Durant's future?
Skip Bayless, Molly, it's massive. Kevin Durant's got to show up tonight. He's got to make amends. If he doesn't make amends for his performance in Game 6, he may not live this down. Let's be clear. Kevin Durant is a superstar. He's one of the top 3 players on the planet. He's that lethal. In his own way, he's a freak of nature. He's 6'11". Okay, he's got a 7'6" wingspan. He can handle the ball. He can pull up from 30. And he's got a career average of 27.4 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 rebounds a game on 48% shooting and 38% shooting from three-point range. This dude is as lethal as it comes. He can drop 40 in his sleep. He can average 28. He's the one player that I look at that has the potential to eclipse Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as the greatest scorer in NBA history. He's also a great basketball ambassador, a model citizen. I don't care about whatever differences he had with me at the beginning of the season. Kevin Durant's a good brother. He's a good young man, and he's great for the game of basketball. But the problem is his talents are so surreal that 9 years in this league without a championship to show for it is bad enough. But when a legitimate argument could be made that you are the reason that you didn't win, a la Game 6, you got to make amends for that. You don't make amends for that, this will be attached to his career forever. You're talking about a guy that's in his 9th year in the league that has Russell Westbrook as a sidekick and can't get it done? That's inexcusable. You're talking about a guy that's in a position to opt in and stay in Oklahoma City for a 2-year deal and opt out after one next summer, where he can re-up after 10 years in the league and sign for in excess of $228 million. That is on top of the $300 million Nike deal Roc Nation just got him when you had Under Armour trying to come into the mix to get him, and Nike exercised their option to match or exceed any offer that came his way. So you're talking about a $300 million man in one endorsement deal who has the potential to make another $228 million on the court, and that doesn't count all of this other stuff. And what do you have to show for it? Nothing? No rings whatsoever? Steph Curry comes out of nowhere. He's handling business. LeBron is in the East Side handling business, and you are just putting up numbers? Unacceptable. Now we're talking about him possibly leaving OKC. First of all, you heard about LA, like I told you prior to the season. Then we heard about Miami. I hear that there's no way in hell that he'd consider going home to D.C., even though I would love to see him playing in the nation's capital, because that would be beautiful, okay? So the likelihood is that he may end up staying. The point is, if you lose, where the hell are you going? You the reason that it didn't happen, because you blew Game 6. Now, in concert with Russell Westbrook, but nevertheless, that's what happened, because, again, it was a choke job, plain and simple. So in the end, what it comes down to is this. If we want to look at LeBron, remember LeBron, Skip, and a level of accountability that was thrusted on his shoulders when he couldn't find a way to get it done, and all that pressure that was on him in 2011, 2012, when he was down 3-2, and then went to Boston the TD Bank in Boston and dropped 48 on them in 15, and then ultimately won his first finals against Kevin Durant and OKC. Well, we forgive that. They were young and up and coming. But now you've been around long enough. You have the requisite greatness attached to you, where the same level of culpability and responsibility that we were quick to throw on the shoulders of LeBron James back in the day. Why does he get a pass? Fair is fair. He is great in his own right with the skill set to get it done. And if he doesn't get it done, we shall remember that.
Okay. You've lost me a little bit here, because we got two questions going on. We got a legacy question, and we got a where does he wind up next year question based on what is happening right now. On the legacy question, allow me to say, speaking of LeBron, remember, LeBron suffered through the all-time worst finals meltdown I've ever seen a superstar have to undergo against Dallas. And then, to your point, he bounced right back the next year and wiped the slate clean and won his first ring. So it's not like Kevin Durant couldn't do that next year with the Thunder.
Well, that's not what I mean. What I'm saying is that it would be until you captured the championship.
Okay.
I'm saying if he loses tonight and nothing else he does matters anymore until he wins the championship. And there's nothing to talk about. We know he's great. We know he's lethal. We know he's one of the best. We know all of these things. I'm saying that the narrative on Kevin Durant will forever be about getting the championship.
Sure.
All of that other stuff is irrelevant now. We don't care about that anymore with him.
But you can't forget they did get up 3-1 on a team that is not only the defending champ, but they won a record 73 games.
But that's why.
That's pretty good. That's actually pretty great.
But that's why. But that's why. If you're going up against a 73-9 team, all right, and then all of a sudden they're just too great and they overwhelm you, that's a different narrative. But clearly they weren't capable of overwhelming you. You went up 3-1 on them, and then you blow it. That's the point. That's what the problem is.
Okay, just me. Kevin Durant didn't play the worst game I've ever seen any star play on Saturday night. He was bad by his standards, obviously, 10 for 31, one big late turnover. But remember, his co-star, his point guard, turned it over 4 times in the last minute and 39. So there's co-blame to be shared there, right? I mean, you can't dump that whole Saturday night just on Kevin Durant. Russell Westbrook had to share part of it, right?
Well, how many times do I have to repeat myself?
Okay.
I said choke about both of them
I got it.
5 times already.
Okay, now we're back to Kevin Durant. Obviously, he has the ability to leave, as we talked again and again about. My point is, tonight's outcome, the way it unfolds, will dictate whether Kevin Durant stays or goes. Because to me, if Oklahoma City, let's do the worst case. If Oklahoma City just comes out flat because they get flattened in the last 5 minutes of Game 6 at home, let's say they get run off the floor by Golden State tonight, I think Kevin Durant leaves. I think he throws up his hands and says, it just didn't work out here with Russell for whatever reason. We just couldn't get it done together. I got to go chase my ring somewhere else. Remember, I'm pretty sure Golden State would take Kevin Durant next year. They would figure it out. I'm pretty sure my Spurs would take Kevin Durant next year. They would figure out how to fit him under their salary cap.
And anybody with sense would take
they
Kevin
would,
Durant if they had the opportunity to get him. But it would be catastrophic for him to want to go to one of those 2 teams. Well, it would be catastrophic.
Catastrophic wasn't for LeBron James.
In terms of his image. In terms of his image. What the hell would you be going to Golden State for? They wax you and you going to leave Russell Westbrook and join them?
If you can't beat them, join them.
It doesn't get much weaker than that.
Yeah. Okay, but was it weak for LeBron to finally throw up his hands and say, I can't do this by myself. I need my man Dwayne.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Stop that. Enough's enough. When LeBron left Cleveland in 2010, there were both personal and professional things going on in Cleveland. That's number one. Number two, Miami wasn't much. They had fallen off the map, okay? If you're Kevin Durant, how the hell are you going to get your team to the Western Conference Finals and leave for the team you played in the Conference Finals against? I mean, what do they need you for? I mean, you are literally jumping on the bandwagon.
Okay.
Now, if he left to go to D.C., or he left to go to Miami or something like that and be against LeBron in the East, that would be different. But to go to Golden State, what?
San Antonio?
Well, I know that's your wishful thinking.
Well,
I mean, hey, you know, I don't mind that.
Would be,
I mean, I understand.
You beat him and you
LaMarcus
joined
Aldridge
him,
clearly
right?
needs him.
Okay.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, okay. So my point is this. If they win tonight and get to the NBA Finals, I think Kevin Durant will stay in Oklahoma City. Even if they play a good game tonight, they take it down to the wire, and maybe
possible.
Steph Curry makes another shot of shots to win the game. I think Kevin says, hey, we came close. They were a little better than us in the clutch.
Well,
you know, Like,
let's understand something to close this segment out. There's a philosophical difference between you and I. You're giving Kevin Durant and Oklahoma City credit for being up 3-1. I'm saying when you are a superstar of this magnitude and you are up 3-1, when you forfeit such a lead, that sticks with you, particularly when you've never won the championship. Now, if you won a championship before, but you just have a bad few games in a series and somebody comes back to beat you, that's different. But when you've never won a championship and you are on the cusp of capturing one and you lose a 3-1 lead, that stays with you, especially when you, in large part, had something to do with why it didn't happen.
Okay, but again, I'm not condemning Kevin Durant because he hasn't won a championship. They haven't figured out how to get it home, and because his point guard also hasn't figured it out. And in the end, when he turns it over 4 times down the stretch, that's not all your fault.
When Magic Johnson lost to the Boston Celtics, even though it wasn't a 3-point lead, and he turned the ball over to Dennis Johnson like on 3 straight possessions, God rest Dennis Johnson. So when that happened, yeah, Magic got maligned a little bit, but at the same time, we were like, this is a champion that had a bad game. But when you've never won the championship,
I'm looking at it the other way around.
And all of a sudden you get in your own way, that's a problem.
I don't think so.
Well, that's you and I. We different. That's why you are who you are and I am who I am.
That's true.
We just think differently on that.
Bottom line, where does Kevin Durant wind up next year?
I have no clue. I would guess Oklahoma City because that's where he could get the most money. Plus, he could opt out next year as well, still be a free agent and get even more money than he would get this year.
Okay.
So that would be my guess.
I'm just saying if they lose and get beaten soundly tonight, he's out.
Okay.
All right.
I wouldn't put it. Listen, I don't know what the hell Kevin Durant's going to do because I don't care. My priority is that he wins tonight.
All right.
I don't care where he's at.
You're going to have to start caring because we're going to be talking about it a lot this summer. But
Y'all can talk about it a lot this summer, but it ain't going to be me. I got vacation coming up. I ain't got time for that nonsense.
Oh, okay.
You'll come off vacation to care about it.
That's a beat writer. Let the beat writers do that.
Okay.
I'm taking my vacation. I can promise you that.
He's busy. We want you guys to weigh in. So if Durant loses tonight, does he leave OKC? Go to the First Take Twitter page, vote yes or no, and we will share those results later in the show. Stephen A. won't be weighing in on that. So Thursday, the Cavs get the winner of tonight's game between the Thunder and the Warriors, but should they be the favorites no matter who they face? That's the discussion next.